Hello everyone, welcome to this Sims 3 house design video. So today I am working on a small semi-starter house in Plymouth Isle, which is a world that I created completely from scratch. So you can check out that series on my channel. There'll be, actually there's not a link in the description to that, but there is a link in the description to download the world. So you can download the world from the description, and you can check out the playlist on my channel with all the episodes. And of course you can download the house. There's a link in the description for that as well. This house is built on lot 89. It's right in the same neighborhood as the last few houses that I've built for this world. This house is like a semi-starter kind of house. So it's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom house. The plan was to make it 2 full bathrooms, but you'll see at the end I had to remove the shower in the master bathroom to keep the house's price in line with what it should be. So like, there's a bit of a struggle with the, pricing of this house, as I always struggle with keeping things on budget, because there's always like this, fight between making it look nice and detailed and keeping the price reasonable. So this house ends up costing, I think, 19,400 something simoleons. It's like something around there. The biggest issue I ran into was that when I started building, for some reason I was under the impression that I could make the house cost as much as 21,125, which I made the house cost that much. I think like just under, and I was like, oh, I did it. It's perfect. I made it. I've done it. And then, because I was like aiming for a house that would have 2 adult Sims and like 1 child, that amount of money, until I realized that I was misguided in believing that, and the house actually couldn't cost more than 19,500 simoleons if I wanted a family of 3 to afford it. So yeah, at the end you'll see I go back and I have to cut back on some things to keep the price down. But I succeeded. It did include some sacrifices from what I intended the house to look like, but nothing major. The shower is actually the biggest ticket item I had to remove, because that was like 425 simoleons alone. So, if you buy this house, or if you have your sim buy this house in the game, you can add a shower back in once you make some money and or expand and improve it. But yeah, that's just the nature of kind of starter homes and semi-starter homes. The house right next door to this one is a starter home that's like under 16,500, so for a single sim. And then like the house right next to it costs like 100,000, and like the house next to that, is like 130,000 or something like that, But the house behind it, which was Humble Abode from like a couple weeks ago, maybe like a week and a half ago, that house is like 26,000 or something, is like near semi-starter status, but a little bit more expensive. That's also a 3-bedroom house, so that's like kind of a little bit out of the price range of like a sim who'd be buying this house like right off the bat. But yeah, so the house has a pretty simple layout. You can see there are 2 bedrooms on the left side of the house, and then there's like an open living room, dining room, kitchen area. This house does not have laundry. That's way too expensive to fit into a house like this. And I was like thinking about it. It makes sense for some of these houses not to have laundry, because then what would be the purpose of building the laundromat? The world has a laundromat lot, so there'd be no point in making that if every single house in the world had laundry in it. So, that laundromat is for houses like this one. Although the laundromat's not really within walking distance, and there's no place to park a car on this lot, unless you add a parking spot. So, we just don't worry about those little details, because, Sims, they'll take a taxi. There you go. Anyway, so this house, like a lot of the other houses in the area, has wood shake siding. This is not any particular color. It's just kind of like a light wood color. And I know this will shock you, but I had to change it because I thought it should look a little bit lighter. So yeah, I ended up changing the color and going back through and changing all the walls again. It's a very common theme. I do this with basically every house. I can never make up my mind the first time round. Now for the wood color or the trim color, I went with white. Although like in all the picture, like when I built it and then all the screenshots, I had it this color that I'm doing now. But then like afterwards, I was like, it's like a little bit too bluish, so I changed it to like a slightly more warmer color. Although that's not super noticeable, but it's just something that made me happier. So, whatever, it's fine. It's just a very, very, very subtle difference. I made the front door like a light blue because I thought that was nice, I guess. And yeah, this is the back porch. You'll see near the end, I make that much smaller to save money. I also shrink back the front porch as well to save money. A lot of things change. Not a lot of things. I guess a lot of things change subtly. Like the fence, I think. Does the fence stay? I can't remember if I keep the fence or not. I think I do. In the front yard. That's obviously not necessary, but I liked it for the detail. Here you can see I'm changing the color of the house. Shocking, I know. But I went for more of like a lighter, more worn color. So it's kind of more of like a grayish tone instead of like the more like wood color. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, I think that's most of it for the exterior. On the inside, I'm just going for just the wood texture that doesn't cost any money, of course. So, there's that. But I made it like a nice kind of darker color and just kind of got that going throughout the house. And yeah, on the front porches and stuff, or like on the porches and stuff, I used the same wood, but I think I made it lighter. So it kind of matches a little bit more with the siding color. But yeah, just going through and doing that. So there's your kind of front porch. In the front porch area, on the right, actually, the front porch on the right, that kind of is parallel with the front of the house, that I end up getting rid of at the end because it's not like necessary. I mean, I liked the way it looked, made the house look bigger than it actually is, but it like the cost of the columns and the railing was something that I could save on, so I decided to cut back. I also, I think, cut back on the number of columns in the front as well, because that saved a little bit of money too. But anyway, here in the living room area, I'm getting some lights, and I actually don't think I ended up using any of the sconces in the end because they cost more than the ceiling lights, or at least these particular ceiling lights. I use these ceiling lights a lot in starter houses. You probably notice if you watched the other starter home videos I've done. They're from the store. I believe they're part of a set, but I think you can buy them separately if you want them. I just use them because they're like very clean looking and like not like frilly or anything, and they're also like very cheap. I think they're like the cheapest or one of the cheapest ceiling lights in the game. So I do make use of those, I think, in pretty much every room, but of course, that's a minor thing. I don't think there's too much store content in this house at all. I think honestly those lights might be pretty much it. All the windows are base game. All the windows and doors are actually, no, the interior doors, excuse me, my throat is acting up a little bit, but the interior doors are from Ambitions, but all the exterior windows and doors are from the base game. And I mean, like a lot of things I used, like some of the things I used are from packs, but I use them because they're cheaper. Like the bathroom sinks are from Late Night, but those are just because they're cheaper than the base game ones. All the kitchen stuff though is base game. All the furniture in the living room and dining room is base game. Everything in the bathrooms is base game except for the sinks. And I think the furniture in the bedrooms is all base game except the nightstands, I think, are from University Life because those are cheaper than the other ones. But yeah, it's a very and actually the biggest thing are the curtains. The curtains are from the store, but you really don't need curtains. I just use them because I use them because they're cheap and simple, and I like having curtains. I think it looks better and more realistic. Of course, they're unnecessary though. So like if you download the house and you don't have those curtains from the store, just delete this, like get rid of the curtains because you don't need them in a house like this, this cheap. And you certainly don't have to like buy those from the store just for this house. But anyway, you can see I just did the hallway or kind of guest bathroom there, or like the bathroom that the bedroom would be using. And this is the master bathroom. You can see as of now there's a shower in it. So yeah, there ends up just being that weird little space in the final house where a shower would go. So, you're welcome to place that in. Here I was considering changing the color of the trim, but I didn't do that until after finishing the video because I changed my mind later that I did in fact want to change it, of course. Anyway, you can see here now we're moving on to the master bedroom, which is pretty simple. Not too much going on here. I think I went for a gray color scheme in here. So you can see we have the gray walls, gray carpet. Bedspread, I think, ends up being pink to match the bathroom because I felt like making the toilet and sink in the bathroom like a light pink. So I was like, why not? Let's just go with that. So I kind of carried that out throughout the bedroom as well. So like the lamp and the bedspread are pink. So it's like a very soft pink. And then this bedroom is more of a kid's room, of course, because I said this house was kind of like designed for 2 adults and 1 child. So this is kind of a kid's room. It's a very sad kid's room because there's only a bed and a nightstand in it and nothing more because, of course, there's no money for anything more. In fact, I had to remove one of the windows, too, on the front of the house, and I had to remove a lot of the windows in the front of the house. There ends up only being 3 instead of the original 6. So, it's fine, though. So you can see here, I went with just some stars as wallpaper, which is fun. And of course, I put closets in. There's a closet for the master bedroom and a smaller one for the kids' room. These are unnecessary. You can, of course, delete these to save money. I just like to have them because it makes the house look way more detailed and realistic, in my opinion. And, of course, not the smartest thing for a starter home because, price is kind of what matters most. But I still was able to include these closets and keep the price below $19,500. So, kind of a double win there, although I did have to lose the shower. Anyway, you can see here, just getting some stuff in. The rug, I think, in the living room stays. One of the dining chairs has to go, though, as do some of the windows, and I think some of the smaller details. Like I have like some, what's it called? Paper towel in the kitchen, which I had to get rid of. I actually got rid of it to save money and then thought I could actually like have it again. So I put it back and then I realized I really couldn't, so I got rid of it again. But anyway, here is getting in some simple blinds for the kitchen, and then one for the bathroom here as well, just so, makes the house look a little bit more realistic. But anyway, at this point now, I'm going to begin probably with some more outside stuff. Oh yeah, also I went into edit town and came back into the lot a couple times because at least the first time when you do that, it depreciates everything on the lot, so it costs a little bit cheaper. So I did that to get the price back down a little bit, although when I did it again, like later, it didn't work. So I think it might only be like a one-time thing. But, I was able to depreciate the objects in the house a little bit, which kind of helped. And yeah, so I wanted to get as many plants as possible. Although, of course, with a house like this, that's not many. I do like having the fence, though, in the front. I think that helps, even though, of course, it's pointless because it's so little of a fence. But I think it helps, like, give a little bit of detail. I did have to remove that air conditioning unit I put in the backyard because that was too expensive. But thank goodness terrain paint is free. I don't know, I said that twice. I thought I messed it up the first time, but I don't think I did. Anyway, so yeah, it's just some dirt and dead grass underneath the house there. I did do the foundation where it's kind of more of like a stilted foundation, so it saves money by not having a solid foundation there. And then there's like the front pathway, which is some kind of like a stone texture that I haven't really used before, so I thought, why not? But yeah, at this point, we're just finishing up the house. Very soon, once the house is complete, I'll have to begin cutting down the cost a little bit, which you'll see that start to happen soon. You can see I removed a window there from that front bedroom and removing some plants a little bit. You can see the price right now is at $21,400, which is obviously significantly more than the $19,400 I end up with. So yeah, there are going to have to be some sacrifices made. So yeah, the first of which was to cut back on the number of columns here in the front. So you can see just cutting back on those. So having just cutting out on like 4 columns there. I did bring these back. The paper towel comes back, but then I get rid of it again. Yeah, here I just decided to get rid of this whole section of the front porch because it was way too costly, I think, to have that. Now you can see we're down to $20,800. And now I'm going to remove those front windows there. So now we're down to $20,500. And then because I changed the porch, I had to redo the roof. So that went through a couple iterations here of trying to work out the best way to get the roof to go on. I actually ended up getting rid of like the kind of sloped roof, like half gable roof, and I went with a hipped roof instead because I thought it looked a little bit better. So you can see I'm doing that right now. And, go going through a bunch of things happening here. But yeah, there's the hipped roof, and then I got like a gable roof there at the end to make it look a little bit more interesting. Yeah, so I'm just cleaning up under the roof here. And yeah, here I cut back on the back porch, and then you'll see I get rid of like the air conditioner, and I have to get rid of the shower and stuff like that. But anyway, we're pretty much near the end here, so I hope you enjoyed. Of course, you can download the house. There's a link in the description below. It's lot 89 that it's designed for. There's also a link where you can download Plymouth Isle as well if you want to get the world in your game. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, I'd greatly appreciate it if you consider subscribing. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a like, and also, of course, leave any feedback you have in the comments below. But anyway, there's going to be some screenshots coming up in just a few seconds, so I hope you stick around for those. It gives you a little bit of a better look at the inside of the house, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, we're pretty much done here, so I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you all have a great day.